Audio.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Donna, are you
Donna,
ready?
talk loud.
I was born ready, Chris.
Ready.
We look good.
Yeah.
Stay dry.
Stay dry.
Left even. Alrighty.
Guys are good to go.
Rightio.
Don't belong with starving women.
Don't belong with starving. Well, that sums it right up, doesn't it? This is women talking about women's stuff, and the man goes off and says, hurry up, we're starving.
No.
What else are we good for aside from cooking, Donna?
That's it. My chain doesn't allow me to go very far from the kitchen bench and the washing machine. That's it.
Oh, welcome along to this little episode. We don't actually have a name for it. Maybe we'll just call it Gabbing with the Girls.
Yes, that's good. I like that.
Does it work?
Yeah, I like it.
I don't know. But I am Miriam, Aussie Destinations Unknown. You know me. This is Donna.
Hello, everyone.
Donna is also travelling full-time.
Yes.
And we have been travelling on and off together for the past 2 years. And we have a lot of little conversations. And I think what we talk about is really interesting. And other women that are thinking about travelling or might be travelling would possibly benefit from what we talk about, hey?
Yes, because there are some people that deliver things in a very nice way. I have no filter, so I'll apologise up front.
Donna is lots of fun to travel
Lots of
with.
information.
Yes, lots of information. So we are going to put a bit of a warning here. Warning. We are going to be talking women's stuff. So we have actually put some posts out across all of our platforms asking for your questions. And
Thank you.
the number one topic, now this is your last chance to tune out if you're a male, is having your period while you're travelling. And a lot of people want to know what happens with the blood clots when they go into the composting toilet. So we are going to save those questions for the end. And we are going to get started with the other, or the second most common, that doesn't really make sense, the second most popular topic, and that is homeschooling, because Donna is travelling with her husband Greg and her 2 teenage daughters and her 8-year-old son.
Yes.
So that's why we thought it might be fun to do this little video, because you're going to get 2 completely different perspectives. So you have Chris and I travelling by ourselves in our 22'6" titanium caravan, being towed with a Chevy. We have heaps of space. It's just the 2 of us. We've got a lot of water. Donna is travelling in her 23'6".
Yes, 23'6".
Yeah, titanium.
Yes, titanium, which has made life so much easier.
Brand new caravan, actually.
Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah, so before the titanium, they were travelling in a homemade caravan, which was also great. Greg did a fantastic job.
He did a fantastic job.
But it was a little bit trickier, I guess, to set up and to pack up and for storage. And
a lot more work involved, and when you're travelling and living full-time, and that is your full-time house, because we sold our house, it just makes life so much easier to be able to just get in and go, pull up, the kids can come in, go to bed, whereas before we had to set all the beds up and unpack the caravan and combine shower toilet. Now I have a separate shower and toilet, and I love it.
And a washing machine.
And a beautiful washing machine. I did have a washing machine before, but it was an old twin tub, and I thought that was fabulous. But oh my God, let me tell you, the NCE wall mounted. Oh,
it's the best.
it is awesome. Awesome.
It's a game changer.
It is. It really is. Anyway,
So
no one asked about a washing machine for
They
3
didn't.
children. I'm surprised.
No one asked any questions about washing, but we might touch on that because we are talking.
Yep.
It's not just answering questions. So I guess what we just wanted to explain there is you're going to get 2 completely different perspectives on a lot of stuff. So for starters, Donna gets really heavy. Donna gets really heavy periods.
Very heavy.
And I pretty much don't get them anymore.
Yes.
So you're going to have 2 perspectives there. And she's also got 3 females in the caravan, all having their periods generally at the same time.
All menstruating,
All menstruating.
Yes.
Yeah, so completely different perspectives. But we might start at the very beginning with the first 6 questions are all about homeschooling, because there are a lot of people out there really interested in this topic. There are a lot of families travelling on the road with younger children, and we see that all the time. But those travelling with teenagers are few and far between, probably because they're all cuckoo. So we'll start with the homeschooling questions.
Okay.
So first of all, who are your teenagers?
My teenagers. First we have my eldest Sienna, who is 15. Then we have my middle child Addison. She is 13. And then we have little Jakey. He's a 5-year gap between the youngest daughter. He is 8. Yeah. So, the 3 of them. And, homeschooling is a huge part of our lives. And as we're going into our third year, I think I'm pretty qualified to answer a lot of these questions because I have done a lot of research in this area as to what fits best for us. But this is also the thing with homeschooling. You have to find what will work for you because there are many different options.
Yeah, that's also something I want to point out about Donna. She's a lot like me in the fact that we don't just do something. We research it thoroughly. We don't just eat something, we research it.
To exhaustion.
We are both researchers, so we know a lot about a lot.
Yes.
And so Donna is pretty much the smartest person I know when it comes to homeschooling and a lot of other stuff too. So your first question is, one, how do you go with the teenagers, so the girls?
Yes.
Do they like it on the road? And did they always like it on the road? So that's also a good question because these guys travelled for a while, then they went back to a house for a little while.
Yep.
Got it all sorted, sold it, and are back on the road again. So there was actually a gap in between. So what was it like when you first started travelling? What was it like when you went back to a house? And what's it like coming back on the road again?
Yes, well, when we first decided to take off, with 2 out of our 3 children were very excited because they weren't
Which
really...
2?
The youngest 2.
Always.
Because they weren't happy with the schooling system anyway, so and they didn't really fit in there. So, but
How old were they at that point?
Oh, geez, how old? But Addison was in grade 5. At the end of grade 5 it was. We pulled them out of school, end of grade 5, and Jacob was at the end of grade 1.
So Sienna was just in high school?
And Sienna was in grade 7. Yep, just finishing her first year of high school, so she was pulled out at the last term of high school. Yes, so Sienna was the one that didn't want to travel. She did not want to leave her friends, which is understandable. You know, she was, what was she then, 12 or 13? Yeah. And, you know, she was big into her AFL sports, Sienna. She was a very good AFL player. So it was hard for us to know that we were taking her away from that. The other 2, it didn't matter because they didn't care. They wanted to travel and do this. Yeah. But Sienna was a different story. And it was, I won't lie, it was hell. Hell for the first 4 months. It was
actually hard when we first met you. Sienna really didn't want to be there, did she?
No.
She made it very, very difficult.
She did. She wasn't happy. But I'm happy to say, 4 months in, Sienna found her groove and now she loves it and she is thriving. All 3 of them are actually.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess that says that because we're still back on the road. We went home and it was... I found it difficult myself going back home.
You went through almost a state of depression, didn't you?
Yeah, because I loved my house too where we were in Harvey Bay and we're only 300 metres to the beach. But I got home and it was just that rut of getting up, doing the same thing day in, day out, and I hated it. I just hated it. I miss going and having my coffee in a different location around the country everywhere.
Forgetting where you are till you open the blinds.
Experiencing different places because I'd never travelled before this. I've lived a very deprived life. Never travelled, never done anything.
You should also point out, Donna's from Logan.
I'm a Logan baby.
Hey!
But don't hold that against me. I'm really nice once you get to know me.
We were also from Logan. Well, we did live in Logan before we hit the road. Nothing wrong with Logan, Donna.
Yes, but no, I love it on the road, and so do the kids. And they even say now that they never want to go back to school. So how's that going from the beginning, where it was horrible, to now just everyone loving it and just never wants to stop?
So do you think it was a good thing going back, putting the kids back in school, going back to a house for a little
while?
while?
Well, they didn't go back to school.
You
homeschooled. We kept homeschooling and we just tidied up the house and everything. They still got to catch up with their friends again. But...
Because didn't you guys move into the caravan park across the road from your house for a little while?
We did. And then when our tenants moved out of our house, we moved back into it, I think it was around October or November it was. So we got to stay there over Christmas period. But yeah, it was just, something had changed.
Yeah.
It had changed.
You've been bitten by the travel bug.
Yeah, and I just thought, you know, I'm an old mother. 50 at the end of this year, and I've got young children.
So how old were you when you had Jacob?
Jacob, I had him just after I turned 40. And I just think, goodness, I'm already halfway through the average lifespan for a female, and I've done, as I mentioned, done nothing. And I just thought, I'm not going to wait till they finish school and leave home, because who knows what could happen between there and now. And we were forced on the road as well with our business. So it's been the best thing ever, really. Yeah. I wouldn't have it any other way now. I was a bit reluctant at first, but tiny living's the best.
It's pretty good, eh? So I think that really answers the first question.
Also in depth.
Do they like it on the road? Yes. Did they always like it on the road? No.
Not at first.
Not at first. All right, number 2. How do you find homeschooling and what do you use for schooling?
I guess school. Nobody likes school, do they? Actually, I tell a lie. I did like school. But
I actually did too.
You see, we're weird. Oh, no, it is hard. I'm not going to lie and give any false misconceptions that it's easy and it's great, because there are days when it's not. And why it's not easy is because you, being their teacher, makes everything completely different.
Yeah.
There'll be days where they will challenge you and give you a headache about doing their schoolwork. But my response to it is routine. You have to have, if you don't have that routine, or you're going to pay. You're going to pay. Because otherwise the kids get out of whack. At least if they know every day you've got to get up and do that hour of schoolwork. And honestly, that's all it takes.
Yeah.
Is an hour.
So that's one of the next questions. How many hours per week do you do schoolwork? So, and how much homeschooling is done per day, and what resources are being used? So do you get up in the morning and do 1 hour every day? Is that like 7 days a week? Or you do weekends off, or certain days off? Or
it's also dependent on the weather too, and exploring. So if we have a lot of exploring to do.
Like yesterday?
Yes, like yesterday. The kids, we'll either get them up earlier and do it before we go, or they won't do it. And then there'll be days where the weather turns yucky and we'll cram out 4 days worth of work. Because you have to remember, homeschooling, you're not sitting in a classroom with 25 other students and learning at that pace. You're getting so much learning into that 1 hour. It is incredible. Yeah. My children have excelled doing homeschooling. It has been the best thing for them. For example, my middle child, Alison, was very behind in school, and she is now self-driven with her learning. Before, I had to sit with her for every step of the way. It was a struggle, and now she gets in there with her maths, just doing it on her own, and it just amazes me.
Even Jacob, when he comes out in the morning, I'm nearly done my schoolwork. I've just got this much more to write, and he's very excited, and he's proud of himself, and they're doing a good job.
And he does brag to the girls, I've done 5 lessons today within this hour. And they're like, well, yours is a lot easier than ours, Jacob. So it's a bit of a bragger. But Jacob can finish his whole year of maths within the first term of school. Yeah. Like, that's how much work you can get through. It's much easier than being
very time efficient.
Yes, a school environment. So, did I answer that, or have I gotten so sorry?
Yeah, no, you did. I'm just going to close.
So, there's no certain amount of hours.
Just closing my hatch because it's a bit windy and it's making a noise.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I have a set amount of hours. It's just we plan to get up and do Monday to Friday, 1 hour a day. It's just until however long until they get their lessons done, because we usually do a maths lesson a day, and then the next day is an English lesson, and then we do the other lessons while we're in the car, to be honest. It's just doing
That's really good if you can do something like that when you're driving, because when you live the life that we live,
there's a lot of hours in the car.
You are spending a lot of time in the car.
Yes, and I know people might say, but my kids get car sickness. Well, so did mine, and so did I. Terrible. You get used to it.
I heard Greg the other day, he's like, I'm just trying to find a different road that's not so windy so the kids don't get car sick.
Yes, we do get car sick, but the more you do it, the better you get. And honestly, car sickness, you'll get better at it. I promise. I used to just drive to the end of the street and be vomiting, and now I can work on my laptop. The kids can play on theirs and work on theirs. So, yes, don't give me the.
You want it badly enough? It can happen.
Yes, exactly.
So what resources are being used for your homeschooling?
Right. When we first registered the kids within doing homeschooling, we moved to a Christian college program. Don't get me wrong, it was a great program. But the problem with it was 6 hours of schoolwork a day we were taking. It was horrendous.
Every day? 5 days a week?
Yep, 5 days a week, 6 hours a day. And then there was the submitting of the schoolwork on a Friday night. So I'd have to scan everything, send it all in for it to be marked and approved. And I said to the husband, we cannot do this. We're working full time. We're trying to school. We're travelling, exploring. It was just too much. Everyone was unhappy with it.
If you're spending 6 hours a day,
they may as well be in a classroom.
Yeah, that's a lot of time.
That was my fault because I was only new to it, and I had been advised by other homeschoolers, don't go that road because it's not right for travelling families.
And you're like, I don't believe you. I'm going to do my own research.
I'm going to try it myself first. But it's designed more for rural children who live out on properties and can't get to school, so they,
And whose parents need to work, so the kids sit down for 6 hours while the parents work.
Honestly, it was a great program, but it was too much for us. And plus, it also cost $500 per child per term. So that was $2,000 a year. That's a lot of money. So I researched, joined homeschooling groups, had lots of conversations, went to lots of meetings. And then I decided to try the home. We're from Queensland, so I tried the Home Education Unit Queensland. And I got online there and I read through what had to be done. And I thought, oh, I can do this myself. First of all, it's free, so I'm saving $2,000 a year. And the best part about it is you can write up your curriculum to suit your child's strengths and weaknesses. So you design it around your child. It is hard. I'm not going to lie. It is hard to write it at first. But as I'm going into my 3rd year of doing it, I know what I'm doing now. And it's easy. I can adjust it at the beginning of the new year. So if I see one of my children is, failing somewhere, I can bring in more resources in that field to get that child up to speed where they need to be. And I can base it around what they like.
That's perfect. That's what normal schools should be like.
Yes, I love it. And there's so many resources out there. For example, we found a program that we love. And it's not for everyone. I've spoken to other homeschoolers and they don't like this program. But for us, it works well because my children are visual learners. Well, the younger two, I should say, are visual learners. Sienna, the eldest one, she can learn anyway. She's very smart, that one. But the younger two, they do a homeschooling program called Mass Online, and it's just $159 a year for all the children. So it doesn't matter how many children you have, all the children, all the school levels you get in it. And it's a gentleman that comes on and teaches the lesson first, and then they go away and do the lesson. I make my children sit there and write the lesson out.
Yes, we were just talking about that. The lost art of actually writing and how writing things down helps you remember things.
They do, and it helps them retain it.
And I love the way that Donna does that with her kids.
Yeah, they write the whole... And sometimes
pen and paper, not this sort of taking notes, actually taking notes.
And they love the program. And as I said, my middle child, she has just come in leaps and bounds with that program. So we love it. It doesn't work for everyone. And then we have several different English programs. I have IXL. I have... I'm just changing to a new one. I can't remember the name of it. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I'll have to put that in the link somewhere.
Insert it, writing down the bottom.
It's a very good
program that Donna loves.
Yes, it's a very visual one, which my middle daughter will like, I think. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I've forgotten the name of it. How bad's that?
That's okay. You've got other more important things on your mind, Donna. It's fine.
But yes, you have to. Everyone has to go through this phase, and a lot of people I've spoken to that start off, they start somewhere, and they usually start with a distance ed school. And then after a month or so in, they change. They changed, yes, depending on the state that they're in. But there are other programs like UCA, Homeschool in a Box, Simply Homeschool. Obviously, you have to pay for those ones, but they're not as dear as a distance education school. And you have to find what fits your family. I can only give you a guide. And if anyone's got any questions and wants more information, send me an email.
Yeah, let us know. You can drop it in the comments below, and Donna can read those comments as well. Or you can. What is your email?
My email is donna@campedia, CAMPEDIA.com.au, and I'm happy to help because that's one of the biggest struggles with getting on the road, especially with teenagers, older children. It's hard to know what to do. Yeah. And you'll make mistakes to start off with, but you will find your groove. It takes about 4 months.
Yes.
I won't lie, that's just learning to live in a van with each other and learning to get in your routine and your schooling. 4 months, and then it's not always sunshine and butterflies. There are days where I say, why are we doing this? But it was the same at home.
She uses a few extra words.
Yeah.
But then it all comes good, doesn't it?
It does. You get to that new location and there's a magical waterfall and you go, this is why we do it.
Or you see Jakey off running around exploring, playing out in nature, or Sienna's out there creating. She does some content creation for these guys, making some awesome.
She's working for us.
Yeah, it's just it's amazing when you see the kids out in nature, and then you just hear sometimes, if we were at home, they'd just be sitting on their devices, or what would they be doing? Hanging out in the backyard.
We still have devices in the van because I do need a break. You're together 24/7, and that can make you psychotic at times. But we do a family that plays together stays together. That is so true. We go diving together. Everything we do
is activities together.
Yes, and we have gotten. I mean, we're already a close family. I won't lie, but we have gotten a lot closer, and we have fun. We have fun. Well, it's not always fun. There's drama, like every other family. We have fights and arguments, but most of the time, We're a funny family.
Yeah.
Honestly.
They are a lot of fun to travel with. And we found the same thing. Chris and I
We're
found the same
crazy.
thing. Living in a van brings you closer.
It does.
And it also means you have to learn how to argue a little bit more quietly or you just don't care about the neighbours, but your windows are open and everyone in the campground can hear everything that's going on.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that almost sums it up.
Sorry, I get sidetracked. I apologise,
No,
everyone.
this is what it's about. This is, what did I say? Girls gabbing with the girls or something. So we're just chatting away. So we're inviting you into our little conversation here. Do the kids miss doing sports? And I'd say, yeah, for Sienna.
Sienna.
For sure.
Yeah. The other two children didn't really do many sports because, well, I'll be honest, Sienna's sporting took up most of our time because she was a really good AFL player.
She was missing that a lot when we first met you guys.
Yeah, she was.
She doesn't really mention it much now.
Yeah, occasionally she'll say, I wish I was still playing AFL, but I think she's so set with her direction now of where she wants to go.
Yeah, she knows what she wants
in
to do
life.
now.
Sienna wants to save up, buy an 80 series with a rooftop tent, and then when she's old enough, she wants to leave us and go and do what we're doing now by herself. So that answers a lot of questions about do they like the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like,
well, we did a series, 10 questions with ADU.
Yep.
And one of them, we asked our 3 children. So we asked our 3 children the 10 questions.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, and we asked them, what it was like with us before and if that has impacted the way that they think about travelling in the future. And yeah, our 2 girls want to travel.
They do. I think it's great.
Yeah, they're 15 and 17 now and they want to travel. My daughter wants to get a Jimny.
Oh.
That's her dream car. She wants a little Jimny with a rooftop tent. Same thing.
Oh, so, I think it's a great idea. As I said, I've never travelled or done anything. My husband's well travelled with his Olympic sailing all over the world.
He's an Olympic sailor.
And I've done nothing, so he meets me.
Come on, darling.
I've been nowhere, done nothing. And yeah, my world has been opened up. And I think, gosh, I wish I had someone to show me this before I had children.
Yeah.
Because I would have been in a little van travelling this great country, seeing everything.
Yeah.
And now...
now you're in a huge van travelling the country.
Yes, that will downsize when we get rid of the children.
Oh, you reckon? We said we'd downsize. Actually, no, Chris said we'd downsize, and I said, no, we're going to get a bigger bathroom.
It is lovely, and that has helped with living on the road full time. Having a very comfortable van makes life.
Yeah. So here's a question for you.
Easier.
No one's asked you this question. If you had to continue travelling full time in your old caravan or in like a camper trailer or in some... There you go. So you would never do it with your kids in a camper trailer?
I'm sorry, hell no. Good on.
I wouldn't
hats
either.
off to those doing it, and there's no reason why you can't.
You wouldn't do it though?
But
I know I wouldn't.
maybe for a year. I could do a year, but
I definitely
longer
wouldn't.
than that. If it was my full-time home like this is now, no, I couldn't.
Yeah.
And our old van was great, but
it was a lot of work for Donna.
It's tiring. I'm exhausted. I'm old, remember?
Yeah.
I need something that I can just come in and throw my laptop on the table, get some work done in between making lunch and helping with schooling, and I can't be setting up.
So if you've got a comfortable setup, it makes everything so much easier. We've travelled with them when they had their old caravan, and obviously we've been travelling together now for 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks this time.
3 weeks with the new caravan. Yeah. And this woman is she's like a changed person. There's a lot less stress.
Yes.
She doesn't spend 10 hours a day doing laundry.
Oh, I know, that was,
And there's no major dramas setting up and packing up every time we have to go.
It's beautiful. I'll have to show you my van.
Yes, we are. We are actually going to do a van tour video on their new caravan. It is amazing.
It's stunning.
Okay, so I think that's...
Sorry, I forgot where we were. So, yes, only Sienna misses out on the sports occasionally. The other 2 weren't really... sporty. They just enjoyed playing with their friends.
They're still not really sporty, are they? And Sienna's still kind of more the...
Yeah.
We'll go diving and Addie will stay home and cook for us when we get back. We have no objections for that. You can mention, want a bikini? Like, yes, please. So the other question was, and this is a really good question, and we've actually come across a lot of... I'm not going to say a lot of children, but plenty of families on the road that have kids, and their kids don't interact well with others. They're shy, they don't speak well, they're just not very socially... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's the word that person's social skills? They don't have good social skills. How do you think your children... I mean, I know the answer to this because I've seen them all the time. How do you think they are in regards to social skills? Do you reckon that they are not as good as they would have been if you'd stayed in a house?
This is one of the things that I always worry in the back of my head. Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing my children a disservice by travelling around the country and doing this with them because they're not interacting with their friends. And you know what? It's no longer in my head because I have several people say to me, how old did you say your kids were again? And I go through the ages, and they are blown away because the girls, and my little fella Jacob, we've met a lot of families because of Jacob, their conversational skills with adults, it's mind-blowing. The parents come and say to me, your kids are amazing. Like, I talk to other children their age, and you just can't get any sense out of them, or they won't even speak.
That's what we find on the road. Most of the kids are just not, their social skills are not up to par. These kids are amazing.
They could be little brats and
they
things,
are.
but
we do hear things, but they're kids. Kids are kids. And when it comes to social skills,
they're great.
They are great.
I'm really, really happy to hear that feedback from people because, as I said, it's always in the back of your head. Are you doing the wrong thing?
Someone goes like, hey, can I just have a word about your
children? And I'm like,
about your children?
God,
You're like,
what have they done?
What have they done? No, they're actually wonderful.
It makes my heart flutter because I think,
they are really, really, really good kids, and they're great with their social skills.
And they joke around too. Like if the girls were here, they'd probably be saying, "How do we cope with life on the road?" Well, we don't have a choice. That's them joking because they really do. They don't have a choice. Let's be honest, because we have to do this for work. But they do love it. They really do love it.
Yeah.
And you can ask them when I'm not around and see if they give you the same answer.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
They will, because I've asked them too. Okay, I think that is enough about the kids there.